No, don't cry because I'm gonna start crying.
My tears are Like, put away virtual assistants. Who is Eve? You've tried dating us.
Yeah, I've tried dating apps. Bumble.
Who are you?
Because Bumble. The time is when I was going through crazy imposter syndrome, so I had to do what's it called? The therapy, CBT. The most precious time that you could create a bond with your mom, you don't have them there.
Yeah.
And I think that's the moment it hit me. My mom is like really, really sick.
I don't think most people admit or talk about how it's hard to trust God when things are falling apart.
Yeah.
I don't know, I get goosebumps when I'm having a conversation with someone. It's getting deep, and then they throw in God there. Like, I'm like, yeah, this is my tribe. This is definitely my tribe.
I do know the benefits that come with that, but I do also know the challenges that come with sticking to God's side.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We're talking about the virtually vast trivia experience that happened on August 15th this year. The next one will be on November 15th. Welcome to Virtually Vast, where virtual assistants don't just take notes, we take over. I'm your host, Virtually Setore, and here we dive into the mess, the wins, and the money moves behind every virtual assistant. So pour in your chai, rebuke that imposter syndrome, and let's get you virtually vast. Welcome to the third episode of the Virtually Vast podcast. And today we are not deep diving into the virtual assistants as such, but you're going to be doing these podcasts with a virtual assistant, Evelyne Wanjiru, and she's going to be telling us about herself a lot. And who is Eve? You know, who is the Eve that you see on TikTok? What is behind the mask on TikTok? That no-nonsense mask. What is behind that? Is she really charming, or is she as strict as we see her on TikTok? So Karibu Eve.
Asante.
You can introduce yourself again. This is like a part 2 of the previous episode.
Yeah, of course the introduction is going to be different. Hi, Satori. My name is Eve. If this is the first time you're seeing me, Wanjiru Eve. I am an executive virtual assistant and a coach. But behind that, or before I became that, I'm also a criminal justice graduate. Yeah, I keep on forgetting that, but yeah, I'm also a degree holder. Behind all the titles or behind all the labels, I am a sister, I'm a daughter, I am also, a very charming human being, a very empathetic human being. I am very, I'm a lover of life. I'm a lover of people.
I can tell.
Yeah. I'm a lover of life, a lover of people. I thrive in happiness. I think no 10 minutes would go without me at least laughing.
I think that's where we vibe.
Because we laugh a lot, yeah. I love just being happy. I love being around people. I love, community spaces and such things. I love, traveling. I do enjoy traveling. Ni vile bank account ianze kukacha haraka haraka tuanze kwenda Cape Town sai.
Bank account clock
that. Clock that. I do love traveling. I love just exploring new hobbies. Just generally a person who loves doing new things and trying new things. Yeah.
Oh wow, that is really nice of you to say. I can definitely concur that you're a lover of life. I've interacted with you, I think today's the 4th time ever since. And we talk like we've known each other for years.
Right? I didn't expect that.
I scheduled a call with you for 1 hour. Tell me why the call rolled over to like 2 hours of pure banter.
Yeah.
So today I want us to talk about Eve, the Eve behind everything else. Like put away virtual assistants, who is Eve? And you've just mentioned that you recently graduated as a criminal justice graduate. Tell us about the graduation, the planning, graduation homecoming.
Yeah. So I did graduate. That was last month. Date 25. When's today? I think we are almost like
That's a
1
good
month.
question.
Yeah.
23rd August.
Yeah. It's almost 1 month since I graduated. I mean, it was such a tough journey, but you know, we got there. I was to graduate actually last year, but then I got delayed for some silly reasons or whatever.
Did you have a supplementary?
No, I didn't have let me say, a lot of things happened. A lot of things happened during that time. There was a unit in our university. You could push a unit ahead if you don't feel like doing it. So me and numbers, we're not friends. So when I was in first year, there was a unit called mathematics or was it basic mathematics? So I pushed it ahead up to the 4th year. And that was like among my last units. So I'm checking through the results and I find an F. I'm like, no, this must have been a mistake because I really studied for this exam.
Yeah.
And then so I start scrolling through. I'm just like, oh, I'm like, what is wrong with this? Like, this can't mean that I'm not graduating, right?
Yeah.
So tell my family are just like, no, there's no way. So we're just going to call the teacher or the lecturer, and then she's just going to change the grade. No, we thought it was going to be that easy. The lecturer started complicating things. She called me on campus to discuss. She was like, you failed terribly. I'm like, what? So I just had to accept and just like move on.
Yeah.
I just had to accept and move on. But then at the time, I hated my life really so much. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
But before I delve into that, I was delayed because of that. And then I just had to wait for another whole year to graduate. But then I had to do the unit on repeat the following semester while I was also doing other things. Because at the time, I was also a virtual assistant. I had clients, they had to be catered for and such things. So it continued like that. I graduated finally. I was
which
excited.
university is this?
African Nazarene University. I did Bachelor's of Criminal Justice and Security Management.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was so fun. But then when I was choosing the unit, it wasn't like my first love. I really wanted to venture into agribusiness. My other thing would be psychology.
I don't know why, but agriculture.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did want to venture into agribusiness, but you don't have to be a mkulima to do agribusiness.
Oh yeah, that's the notion I have in my mind.
No,
right
you
now.
don't have to be the one holding the thing. You just have to understand the whole, ecosystem and everything. And
that
then
I can.
Yeah,
that I can.
Yeah. So that was like my first love, though I'm not sure that's my interest these days. So I don't know if that's the thing, or I don't know if it's because I've not ventured into it or like put much passion into it. My second one was psychology, but then I came to discover later when I already chosen the course. But then my third thing was I was so good with history, language, and those are the only things you need to do, either law or criminal justice. So I just
there's no mathematics?
No. So that was absolutely what I needed. So I did that. Finally graduated. I was so excited, but it was so hard for some reasons that we'll discuss as we're continuing.
Yeah.
But I was really proud of myself. And even though, I was delayed, I did get to understand why God delayed me, because my graduation, the way it happened this year, it's not the same way it would have happened last year. Last year, a lot of things were happening. I don't even know if I would be that happy during that day.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have been able even to afford the suit that I had for that day.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have been able to, get the happiness. Like everything just matched up right the way it was supposed to, and that's what we call God's timing.
Then
I did my graduation homecoming, and after doing my graduation homecoming, it was really interesting because I have a really big family, a huge family. My uncle from the UK came. What happened? They just happened to be in Kenya, and it was so exciting. It was so amazing. So that was really a good one. I'd say the whole July was just so filled with so much happiness and
And
so much
it's still
gratitude.
your birthday month.
It was still my birthday month. I feel like my birthday was just like flashed away by the whole
Yeah.
graduation thing, because that was like a big milestone for me to hit.
Yeah.
I had really, it was in my, what do we call it? Vision board. Yeah, the vision board. So it was really big. But July was just an awesome month and a very wholesome one. And a month that I saw God in such a big way.
That
Such
is
a
really
big way.
nice to
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
I love when, I don't know, I get goosebumps when I'm having a conversation with someone. It's getting deep, and then they throw in God there. Like, I'm like, yeah, this is my tribe. This is definitely my
Yeah.
tribe. But Eve, I don't know if I agree with the reasons why you didn't graduate. Were you attending classes? Were you showing up on
I
time?
was attending classes.
Were you
like,
showing up on time? And
I
you know where
swear.
I'm getting with this. Why would you come to my event 3 hours late?
Guys,
Why?
Obam needs to confirm that he actually said in that
We have a
meeting.
recording.
Yeah, go
We
ask
get
Fathom.
it.
You use Fathom, right?
Yes.
He said
Mm-hmm.
the event is starting at, you said 2? Yeah, 2. Then around 2:30, because they said
2 to
refreshments.
2:30, those were refreshments.
Yeah, then he said the panel is going to start at 5. So you don't have to come early, but you can just
I'm going to
arrive
get that
early.
recording for you guys.
Yeah, and Pauline asked, but can I come early if I want to come early? And Obam said yes. So in my mind, I knew it wasn't that bad. Like, it's only 3 something. I'm like, you wrote for me, like, I saw a text panel is starting. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, because by the time it was like 10 minutes before the panel.
Yeah.
Guys, we're talking about the virtually vast trivia
Event.
experience that happened on August 15th this year. The next one will be on November 15th this same year. So if you missed out on that event, which was a bomb,
Yeah.
you don't want to miss out on the next event on November 15th. So anyway, back to the event. The reason why I texted you and told you the panel is starting, it's because it was 10 minutes to the panel,
Yeah.
and we had to change the entire schedule to accommodate my late
The one
comer.
and only.
So tell me, is that the reason why you didn't graduate?
No,
Were you keeping time?
No, like, I don't know what is happening this year with time,
Mm-hmm.
and especially with you.
But at least there's God's timing. All is not lost.
Yeah, all is not lost. All is not lost. Anyway, I'm not that bad with time, but unfortunately, I've made a very bad impression with time to you, especially. And I don't know why. I have so much to prove. No, they said us. I knew this would happen. I knew we'd stay without starting the shoot early. That's why.
It's okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So literally, I just think that it's the lecture. I just think, I don't know why I felt that unit, honestly, but I was attending classes.
Yeah.
I was early. It used to be at around 1.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, maybe I just froze during the exam period, but I don't remember what I exactly did.
Which is allowed.
Yeah, and especially with numbers. And then, I remember, during that exam period, like during the same exam day, like when I was doing that exam, I arrived at school, right? And then when I arrived, I realized I didn't have the exam card. So I was like, no problem. But the exam had already started. Like, I arrived just in time. So they were like, go and print the exam card at the schools.
Oh,
whatever.
You guys had exam cards
too? We had exam cards. So there were 2. So you could either print finance room, there was another canteen, and there's the bookshop.
Yeah.
The bookshop printer wasn't working. The canteen printer wasn't also working. The finance printer wasn't also working. I don't know what coincidence that is.
Yeah.
So I had to go. Remember, the exam has already started, and I've already lost like 20 minutes just going around looking for a printer. then I went back. I was like, oh, please, like, I'm doing this exam. I can literally show you the exam card on my phone. She was like, no, you have to have your exam card. So I had to go out of school, and then it's a distance. It's literally Rongai. Account ianza kukacha haraka haraka, tuanze kwenda Cape Town sai.
Bank account, clock
Yeah,
that.
clock that. Tech people who help me when I'm stuck.
Hey,
I met some
forget
really
tech bros. If you want to date,
no. Okay. Oh my god.
Uh,
I started tithing consistently this year.
yeah.
Started doing Thanksgiving offerings and such things, and it has been so profound. Literally, when I started tithing, I got another client. Oh God, you forgive that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, God is such a merciful God. He gives us so much grace, and all I want to do is to embody his character and give people the same grace. Well, people who
True.
deserve it.
Yeah.
Most of my friendships have just been, well, we've gone through our challenges because there are some friends that we just fell out, but then we came back to our friendship. But you realize that the basis of what and the values, the things that you value together, and the basis of what brought you guys together is what makes the friendship even last that long.
Yeah.
So it's really out of reach.
Yeah.
And there's no bad feeling like that, like feeling like everything you want is out of reach. I literally journaled about it, and was it last week? I went back to my journal, like my notebook, and I was reading, and I was like so impressed, because where I am in my life right now and where I was the same time, I think 2 years back, is completely different. So I really felt like everything I wanted was out of reach, and I felt like I needed to do something more. So I came up with quite a routine. So I started working out. So I live in Gong Road. So I used to do morning jog.
When did you start the virtual assistance journey?
Like a year and a half ago.
That is 2023.
Yeah.
Was it the same time you started the routine?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So no, it was like past few, just past like
few months into virtual assistance, you decided to get into a routine.
Because I wasn't feeling like a lot was actually happening.
Yeah.
So actually it was before I did the course. So I started
the ALX course.
The ALX course, but I had heard about virtual assistants. But before then, I went to Athena and I was applying to to work with the agency. And then when I started applying, I got the first interview right. The second interview, I failed. And then they were like, do the ALX VA course and then see where that takes you. So I started the routine, right? So I was doing morning runs in the morning. So from around Junction Mall to Prestige, or even past Prestige, sometimes to even almost Kenyatta, but I wouldn't get to Kenyatta. So morning runs with my petite body.
The Bible is against running aimlessly.
No, I really wasn't doing it because of my body. I've always had like a banging body. Anyway, I
don't know why my nails are...
Your nails aren't clocking. Anyway, I started doing the morning runs, but my main goal was consistency, to have something that I feel like I could commit to and have consistency towards it. Now, I started slimming. I started losing weight because cardio is not something to joke about. Like, you really lose weight. So I stopped that and started doing, what is it called? Workouts, home workouts. So I continued. I was working on glutes and abs. So I did that for a whole, I think, 1 month, 30 days. So that created the consistency for me. While doing that, I was still, too much into my spiritual journey. So I was reading my Bible. I was journaling every single day, and I bought a lot of books. So I was really reading, even if it's just like online books or listening to audiobooks. I would just like the self-help books. So I used to do those quite a lot. So I came up with like a whole routine that made me feel like I'm productive and I'm a person who is worth, living, and who's worth all of those things. At the time is when I was going through crazy imposter syndrome. So I had to do, what's it called? The therapy, CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, because I did have a core belief of myself that I wasn't enough, especially in the professional industry. I
Yeah.
felt like I wasn't, like, if I apply for a job right now, I'm not going to get that job.
Yeah.
So I had to do therapy. I used BetterHelp to do therapy. So you
Oh, I
connect
have
with,
seen them on Instagram.
yeah, BetterHelp. They're really good. You get matched up with really nice therapists from the US.
Do you know one fun fact? My client organization has a therapy or a therapist that I don't know. I think they've partnered with a therapy, something like the BetterHelp.
Yeah.
And you can get a therapist if you want
Oh,
for
really?
all, as long as you're an employee, even
Yeah.
contractors. Yeah.
Wow, that's really nice.
I have not explored it, but I think
It's something that you're open to.
yeah, not exploring therapy, but exploring this particular one with my client. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, I did do the cognitive behavioral therapy thing
How
for
was
2
it?
months. It was really nice.
What,
Like, you
what, what
really,
does that even mean?
cognitive behavioral therapy is therapy that deals with a core belief that you have about yourself that is stopping you from seeing life as it is. So it's blinding you from seeing life fully. So a core belief could be something like you're not enough, or you're not worthy, or
Yeah.
men are like dangerous people. Like, so literally that's someone's core belief.
I don't know why you had to
right?
throw men there.
It's
Men
something.
was just chilling.
Yeah, they were just chilling. They just have to
They're
chill.
catching strays.
Or the world is unsafe,
Yeah.
or something of the sort. So those are things or core beliefs that were maybe they're not even really. Some of them are proven, like you have evidence of why you have that core
feel,
belief.
yeah.
Some of them you just feel them because of maybe your upbringing, your childhood, how you were brought up, or a certain experience made you feel some type of way, or you failed in one interview and you just started feeling like I'm not good enough, or you just had one experience with a man and you just started feeling as if I feel like men are unsafe.
Yeah.
Men are these dogs or something. you know so it's just like one experience, or you just view from someone else's point of view. So you come and tell me that I feel like the world is unsafe because
Yeah.
of this and this, and then I start viewing the world like that. Now that's stopping you from living fully or experiencing some of these things fully. So that was the same thing I was dealing with. I felt, just because I felt like one interview, I just felt as if I wasn't enough. And we explored all the things. Like, you start from childhood,
Yeah.
coming up. How was your childhood? How were you raised? And
because
then you
that
start
was my next question.
identifying.
Do they like go deep and try to understand your childhood?
Yeah, they do try to understand like your childhood, because some of these things, as I have said, they're not like quite proven why you believe or you have this belief, but you kind of like something might have happened when you were a child that might have caused you to believe such things.
Yeah.
You're not enough. Or for example, for me, no one reassured me when I was a child and told me like, you can do these things, or you're capable, like, I wasn't really affirmed as a kid. I wasn't that affirmed kid.
I can relate.
Most of the things that I was told as a child were not like that positive
Yeah.
well. And sorry to say, but they were not coming from my mom. And it was like growing up like that. Even when I transitioned to, I think I went to my auntie's family, and then I saw, and the other thing is I come from a single mother household.
Yeah.
So transitioning to another family, I went to my auntie's place one day, and I saw how she's reassuring her kids. And they're from like a 2-parent household, reassuring her kids, telling them that they're capable, telling them that they're this, they can be able. None of that was very unfamiliar to me, really, really unfamiliar to me in ways that I could not explain.
Yeah.
So I did think that, that feeling of like unworthiness, especially in the professional field, especially all the other fields, I felt like maybe some I do have that feeling, but especially in this, I didn't feel like I was quite confident. Yeah.
Wow. I don't know what to say, but I relate to most of those things, right?
Yeah.
I have told you bits about my childhood. but today is not about me.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your childhood. How was it growing up in an environment where there was no reassurance? Before we even get to that environment, how was your childhood like?
My childhood was quite the normal African childhood who comes from a poor background. Yeah.
Humble.
Yeah, humble, poor, whatever. But I was raised in a village.
Mm-hmm.
It's in Kiambu. It's called Ndeya.
Kwenu ni Kiambu?
Mm.
Kosi ushago.
Literally, by the way, when you come to my shag, like there's even tarmac, like up to the point where
How's
you
that
get
shags,
home.
guys? How's that
Literally,
shags?
unashuka kwa lami unaingia kwa shosh. It was really quite a very, I don't know, it wasn't the like ideal because I wasn't raised by my mom when I was growing up because my mom was away. So I don't have any memories of like me and my mom when we were like when I was young. She was away for some reason, I think for work or something. And then so I was raised by my auntie who was also my nursery school teacher. And obviously that changes the whole dynamic because the most precious time that you could create a bond with your mom, you don't have them there.
Yeah.
And I think when you're a child, you can create quite a bond with your mom. And that bond is like quite untouchable. And it kind of like reflects or shows in the future because you guys can reconnect on something that you're already familiar with from your childhood, right?
So let me ask, did you like know your auntie wasn't your mom? Because I kind of have like there's that notion where if it's your auntie bringing you up, you'd end up calling them mom, and no one is mentioning if your mom is around or not.
Yeah, I did know because by the time I think when my mom gave me up to my auntie, it was I was still very young. Okay, I was at the time where I had started being aware. So I was aware that that is my auntie. And most of like my childhood memories, I don't remember with my mom. I actually don't have any childhood memory with my mom. I only have childhood memories with my auntie.
Yeah.
And so that's like growing up, now I understand how and why I behave the way I behave and why I had, such kind of different traumas and why it was even hard for me and my mom to rebuild that relationship as an adult. So it was I was raised by my auntie. My childhood was quite traumatic for some few reasons here and there that maybe I would not want to touch up on right now, but it was quite a traumatic childhood. And it was very fun because I came to realize this when I was 20 or 21 years old. And it was quite weird for me because it was like things are being brought to light. And I started having those flashbacks from my childhood. And it was really quite profound for me to just like remember everything back and try to, it's like reliving the trauma again. And when you're a child, this registers as trauma in your mind, but you don't know. You just know what you're feeling. And then when you're an adult, it revokes the same emotions but now they are registering as trauma.
Oh, they triggering aspect.
Now they trigger you. But it's the same emotions you had when you were a child. It's the same thing you felt when something happened or someone did something to you when you were a child. But now it's registering as trauma, and it's now informing as many decisions because now the way you behave, you now understand why maybe you shout a lot, or you now understand why you do not give people or how you show up in relationships, how you show up in friendships, how you show up in certain interactions, why maybe you're I don't know, different things, how you do them, they are really informed by how you are raised up and you are brought up and the kind of things you went through while you were a child. But it was basically like that.
Okay. Do you think therapy was helpful? Because what I'm getting from you right now is it made you relive most of those memories that you actually didn't want to relive. Do you think addressing those traumas has been helpful, or would you rather not have gone to therapy and relive those occurrences?
I'll vouch for therapy anytime I get, because therapy has really helped me, because it's one thing to, I wasn't even that self-aware, and I think it brings up things that you could not be aware of, because I had some self-awareness, just some level of self-awareness before I got to therapy. But then therapy put in some issues to light, and then of course correlating a certain behavior to my childhood, or how I was raised, or the kind of like trauma. For example, I suffered the abandonment trauma from my mom, and that's something that I didn't realize, because I was only focusing on the feelings and how a certain person made me feel while they were raising me. But now, like, coming to realize that my mom not being part of, my childhood brought about the abandonment wound, and then that starts to translate to something new as an adult. Now, I would say therapy has really been helpful, because it made me realize a lot of things about myself, a lot of things about my personality, what about my personality can be changed, and realizing that these are only things that happen, but they don't define me or who I am at all. So I'd vote for therapy any day, anytime.
Okay. So from your childhood, now you're still living with your aunt, who is teacher.
Yeah.
Did you ever reconnect with your mom at some point? Because you said she would come once in a while. She was working or something.
Yeah.
So did you ever reconnect with her at some point?
Oh yeah, we did. Because no, my auntie's place was like my home, and then when she'd come, I'd just go back and to my mom, and then we stay for like maybe just some few days, and then I'd go back. Even when she's like there for like a week, I'll just go visit her for like a few hours, then come back. So we did reconnect with her, and at some point when I was, I think around class 5 or 6, I moved back home, and so I started living with her from that point on. And then when I was, I think in class 7, I went back to my auntie's place again for some family reason. Then I then came back when I was in class, I think class 8 or something. So now from there, I'm still like so immature at that point. So the relationship I have with my mom is like me trying to figure her out and still trying to get to know her. And then, so we reconnected back when I was around like class 5, then stayed for a bit, then went back. So you can see like there's like such an inconsistency in how we are getting to know each other, and that creating that bond. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. And so where's this? Are you guys still living in Ndeya? Say Ndeya.
Yeah.
Are you people still living there, or did you move?
So at that point, we were still living in there. My mom came back, and then we started living with my grandma. So all my life I've been raised with, it's me, my mom, my grandma, and my brother. And there is also like, it was quite a big family, because there is like also my other cousins that were living there. So it was just like a big home where we are
extended
living.
family.
Yeah, an extended family, and we are living with my grandma. My grandpa died when I was, I think the year that I was born, that's when he died. So we're just living with my grandma and my mom as a big family. But then, of course, after that, now is when I started moving to Nairobi.
So when did you guys move to Nairobi?
We didn't. My mom didn't move. I was the one that moved, because my mom, her health started deteriorating as the years went by, and she didn't. She just needed to stay somewhere where there's like other people,
support
like
system.
like her sister, her mom, and there's like other people to support her in that. And at the time, my mom didn't have a job, so it was quite a lot. And of course, staying with my grandma is helping in one way or another to pay my school fees or something else. So yeah.
Oh, you have a really amazing grandma.
Yeah.
I have to like comment her for that.
She's really nice. Yeah.
But I would just want to understand. You said you moved to Nairobi. So where to?
My auntie's place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So high school.
Which auntie? Is it the same auntie that was taking care of you when you were growing up?
No. So that auntie, actually, this around the same area my grandma lives. It's just like a few kilometers away that my auntie who raised me lives. But moving to Nairobi, it's like I'm from a big family. My mom had 10 sisters, no, 9 sisters apart from her. So yeah,
Ooh.
so just
You
moved
people are not
to
Maasais?
no, we're Kikuyus, pure Kikuyus. So my mom, oh, so I went to high school in Moranga, right? I studied there until I
Which
finished
high school?
Makwi Girls. It's called Makwi Girls, but it's quite
Oh,
local. Yeah,
oh.
it's
No,
on
I
your
was trying to remember where I heard the word Makuyu, but
Makuyu.
it's just registered. I went there to watch football.
Yeah. So that's where I went to high school. And then you see the relationship with my mom again is not yet
Yeah,
there
yeah.
because the only time I get to see her, like you stay in school when you're in high school, you stay in school more than you are at home. So we had a very rocky relationship with her because it's like two people trying to understand each other. We had a very different personality with my mom. I'm quite bubbly. My mom, I'd say my mom and my brother have kind of the same personality.
Yeah.
Quite laid back, quite
Conservative.
even with their emotions, the way they feel and everything. They're quite empathetic. I'm empathetic too, but they're just cool.
Yeah.
Right? Not I'm just like bubbly.
Yeah.
I'm out there. I'm
Yeah.
loud.
Bubbly people can be mistaken to not be empathetic.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get
yeah,
that
yeah.
a lot. Yeah.
Exactly. So we're just trying to like, it's just like two personalities clashing. And then it's just like you're just trying to understand. I'm trying to understand you as my mom and to see you as a person. And you're trying to understand me with my teen, whatever.
Yeah, teen mind.
Yeah, teen mind. And the decisions I'm making and why I'm making them and such things, and my stubbornness and me being adamant and such things. So it was also quite rocky when I was in high school. But we did kind of figure it out when I was almost finishing, and it was quite wholesome to get to know my mom and to see her as a human being at the end of the day, instead of seeing her just as like this superhero who is supposed to figure out everything. Yeah. So it was quite awesome to finally see my mom as like a person.
Yeah.
And the way I would like, perceive any other person, I'm just like giving her the same grace as I would give any other person who is in my life, just that they don't have the title mom. So
true.
yeah, I know I did have a lot of expectations from my mom, and it was quite stressing her, but I did, apologize to her for making her feel like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
People need to apologize to their moms, right?
Yeah, you need to apologize.
So anyway, tell us about your high school life. Were you like mischievous? Were you laid back? We relate in so many things. So that's why I'm asking this question. Like, how was your high school life? You've touched on how you struggled with the relationship with your mom at the beginning years of high school. Was she visiting you during this time that you people were struggling, to rekindle the love that was supposed to be there but wasn't there because of the distance? Towards the end of high school rather, because you said the relationship improved, was she also still making visits to school? How was your high school life?
My high school life was quite interesting. I didn't love my school because of the distance from home to school. I literally hated town. Like, just kupitia town ilikuwa inanikuwa too stress. Like, I hated how like the distance, because it meant that I would come from home very early and then arrive. We had to arrive at around 2. So I'd have to wake up very early. I'm completely not a morning person. I hate mornings. I dread mornings. I hate waking up early.
That's why you are late today.
Anything that requires me to wake up early in the morning, I'm the most groggiest person you could ever find. So I used to hate the distance, basically. Because it was quite
Was it
far.
a day school?
No, it was a boarding school.
Oh, okay.
And it was it extra county? I think it was extra county. So and I didn't go to high school with like very good marks. I had very low marks, but I'm not gonna say them here. Nitakwambia hapo nyuma ya nini. Hapo nyuma ya tent. So it was only by the grace of God that I made it to that school. And I went to that school, got admitted. I was very naive. I didn't know anything. You're just coming from the village. You're just
Yeah.
like, you're just finding what sijui wakayole dandora wako na accent ati you wanajua sheng. I know I know none of that. The only thing I can be able to communicate, I don't even know how I don't have like a Kikuyu accent like na ngwangwa. Like I don't understand how that came about. But the only thing I knew
You
how to
read
communicate.
books, I
Yeah,
think. Yeah.
I'm a book reader. But then like I only knew English and Swahili, just basic Swahili, and then obviously Kikuyu. So just met very different personalities, and then you know how that can be. But then I had my cousin in the same school, so it was, I think, a bit easier, not that much, but a bit easier. So it was so good to get to know, a new set of people. My mom was really supportive from the time I got to Form 1 to Form 4. There is no visiting she didn't fail to come. And everything I asked from her, no matter how, it's pizza. I asked her for pizza and she was like, pizza Wanjiru. What? She was like, Wanjiru pizza ngiri. So ngiri means 1,000. And 1,000 at the time is a lot. So she
Pizza was that expensive?
Yeah. It was 1,000.
So pizza prices haven't changed much?
Yeah, they haven't changed much.
Mm-hmm.
So it was heading, if not, it was already like 1,000. And at the time, 1,000 could get you a lot of snacks. So there was a time we really fought about, like, not fought, but like we just like argued about like her bringing me pizza and such things. I really wanted to taste pizza, I just really wanted to taste pizza, but she was really supportive with everything I needed. She was really honestly there, and she was like the nicest personality. She has like the best personality ever. I think all her sisters loved her or something. But she is such a personality. She's really supportive with everything you want, so long as it's like within the scope of what she can be able to offer. And she was really just supportive. And I just realized that, my mom was sick. So I think for the most part, I've known my mom to be sick. So she was really pushing herself even with coming to school. I wasn't ever chased from school just because of school fees. She really made sure that I wasn't chased from school just because of school fees. So it was really quite a journey. I wasn't there. I was just like I used to fear teachers a lot. And then I used to obviously have in mind that my mom is sick, number one. The distance it takes to, come from Muranga to Kiambu. And especially it's from a village to another village. So that's really far. It's not like it's a town, like you'd say like Kikuyu town or Limuru town. You're moving from one village to another village. So it was really me just trying to, think about my mom and be the most disciplined kid as ever. So I didn't have any suspensions or anything. I only appeared once in the black book thing because I was found dancing in class by the deputy by the deputy teacher. And then I was the noisemaker. I was the noisemaker every time. I think I'd see at least the noisemakers. I was the noisemaker constantly. But then my performance was all good. I think I was within like top 10 students, even in Form 4. I think teachers used to just be so surprised because they would put like your marks right next to your grade, like your KCPE marks. So they would just do like the comparing and how the graph is going. And I think it was really impressive because I was the only one with like 200 and something marks on that list.
But you appearing on the top 10.
I used to be like top
really
10.
Nice.
Yeah. So I finished my high school, had a grade that afforded me to get to campus without any, private getting to or college or like I went to a private university, but I wasn't like I was a government student.
Parallel. That's what they call them.
Yeah, exactly. So my high school life was just like basically boring. I was the nerd who used to remain.
I did not expect that from you. But
yeah, I was a nerd. I think I have a little bit of like nerdness. My brother is a really big nerd, but I think I'm more of a nerd.
Okay. And now
less of a nerd.
You've transitioned from high school to campus. You've touched a bit on campus. But let's transition together now from high school to campus, first year. How was it? Who took you to school?
First year was COVID. Yeah. So we did online.
How old are you?
study.
I don't need to interview underage kids.
I'm still
It's
children.
illegal.
I'm
It's
still
illegal.
children.
Did your parents sign a contract before you?
I'm still children. So it was COVID times. And I remember, yeah, we did like, I studied online for one semester. Then the next semester, I went like to study like physically, but I was still doing online classes. I just moved away from home and then went to live alone. But
Yeah.
I used to do classes like physically, but the exams and the assignments used to be online. They used to have like a portal and,
Yeah.
you know, an e-portal online. So we just go and access the portal, do your assignments and do everything. When I was going to school, my mom, my uncle and my auntie are the ones who took me to school. I didn't live inside the school because our school was very expensive for my mom. It required my mom to get almost 120 Gs for just me to stay in school, because when you stay inside the school hostels, you have to pay for food in the hostels. You also have to, you have to pay for the food in the hostel, and then accommodation, of course, and then the school fees. So it was adding up to 120 Gs and something. And I have a brother who's studying in a private school. So it was quite expensive. And I was like, I'm just going to rent a house outside. That's going to be much easier. You do shopping for 4 months. That sums up to around like maybe 10
Shopping
to 12K.
for 4 months.
Yeah, like 5 kg rice, dawat. That takes you quite
You eat the green dawat.
No, the blue dawat. The blue dawat, the orange sunrise. So we used to do like, it was much affordable because, if you do the maths, it's just much affordable. The rent and the food, I don't have to ask for food every single day, and then a little bit money for upkeep. So that was much better. So I continued on like that, finished my first year, and then after my first year, there's the long holiday, right? So after we went for the long holiday, and then I got a job as a receptionist in this laundry, and then
you worked in a laundry?
Yeah, worked in a laundry.
Umekuwa mama fua.
It was like a laundry shop, the one that you have, washing machine and the dryer and everything. So I used to do everything there. It was a family friend's laundry. So I just got the connections. So that held me up for the rest of the, I think, 4 months that you spend on your long holiday.
Yeah.
And then after that, I went back to school for my 2.1.
Before we go back to school, how was it living alone? Like, you come in from an extended family where if you look left, you can see your aunties. You look right, you can play with your cousins. I know you're living alone. And as somebody who's lived alone before, you tend to connect yourself more when you're living alone. And most of these childhood memories start manifesting when you're living. How was it for you? How was it living alone for the very first time, moving out and living alone?
Living alone was quite interesting for me. The first night I cried. I called my mom. I was like, Mom, home. And then my mom was like, no, you have to stay there. It's just the first night that you're feeling lonely. Then at the time, oh my God, it was like I was looking right, left, center. I'm just like, this is not the life.
Yeah.
It was this, studio apartment, and then it had some few things. My bed, let me tell you, my mattress was bigger than my bed. So when you sleep, you used to like stay in the middle, and then the bed is like this, and then it's like, it looks like those swing things. What are they called? The things that swing. So I was just looking. I didn't.
It's like you're in a depression.
Yeah,
Rift Valley.
It's like I'm in a valley and there are mountains like this. So I didn't like it at all. I was like, I just want to improve my life and live in a better house with better facilities, with better things. So, but that wasn't the main thing. The main thing was that I was feeling lonely. I was feeling so bad, and I just wanted to go back home. And then, of course, living alone in the nikaanza kuzoea. So as I was continuing on to live alone, I just realized that I really love my space, because I had never gotten my space ever. You're coming from like, you know, primary, then transitioning to high school where there were a lot of people. I've come from a family of people where you're just constantly there. My grandma is there, my mom is there because she didn't have a job at the time. And then so we are always there, a lot of people, and then I'm finally alone. I just felt like, oh my God. And then there was like a lot of growth that was happening. I really loved my space, really loved doing my own things alone. I really enjoyed my own company, to be honest. And that is when I started learning more about myself here and there. But then I just felt like a huge sense of like freedom, which I wouldn't have. Like where I was raised, like at home, it's like ukitoka hivi kwa gate unaenda wapi? Now I'm getting out of
community
my house.
child.
Yeah. And sahi natoka kwa nyumba hivi, and I'm just like, no one is asking me where I'm going. No one is like, you know, policing me around in anything. I can do anything
You don't
at
have
whatever
curfew.
time. I don't have curfew. I don't have to cook at a specific time. Oh my God, it was pure bliss once I got used to it. It was really amazing.
I think the start is normally like the hardest part.
Rocky,
and then you get into the tune of music and you dance your way up. So back to you going back to school. This is after the long holiday and we're in 2.1, right? Tell us about that.
So went back to school, but my mom's health was continuing on to like deteriorate every time, and it was so hard for me to watch my mom being in such a state. And because we had created such, now at this time we have a really good relationship, because we spent a whole year after I finished high school. We spent a whole year together because I didn't go to campus. So we're spending so much time together, and I'm seeing her sick, and I'm obviously creating that relationship with her. The relationship is growing. We're getting to understand each other. We've apologized to each other. My mom was quite down to earth. So there was a time she was like, if I did anything wrong to you, or if I did hurt your feelings, I'm really sorry, and such things. So it's just good even for, I think, parents out there to even apologize to your kids, because there are mistakes you might have done. There are things that you might have said that might have hurt your kid, because I think most people don't, like most parents don't come down to where you are, and they don't see you being like the person beneath the title, you're my child.
They don't read the next verse after respect your parents, because it's there, it's in the Bible.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't see you as like a person. They see you as like their children. Yeah, and the moment you start seeing people as people, the moment I stop seeing you as like, you know, Saitori is my sister, I start seeing you as a person. I'm gonna treat you with so much dignity. I'm gonna come to where you are and try to meet you at where you are, and try to see you from there. And then I'll, you know, just like titles carry so much. They could either, you know, because the title child just carries a lot of weight, and comes to tell, like, to the parent, it's like, you must respect me. I'm just delegating these things to you, and you must do them. Like, and that's the kind of authority you've grown in. But once you grow up, once you understand these things, I think we should come at the same level, because I'm still trying to understand you as a person, and seeing you being, you know, beyond the title mom. I can be able to see you as a person. So yeah, I just had started creating that relationship with my mom, and it was quite good. But then her health is deteriorating by the day, and I'm not liking it at all. Like daily, if I would go, she's like, oh, I'm hurting here, I'm feeling like this, and I would be so distraught every time. So that semester went by, another semester went by. So the semesters were also like quite messy, because I'm here trying to balance like my family, my friends. I'm also trying to balance school, you know, knowing guys. That's the time, you know, wale maboy wa kampo. You know, you're getting to know some of these people. You're getting to know them. You're getting to interact with. You're trying to create like a relationship and such things. So it was quite interesting. But then we went for, I think, another long holiday, and then after we went for that long holiday, then I went for 3.1. Yeah, my 3.1 year, third year, first semester. Now that year, I remember the semester was going on well until around November. And I remember my mom was like, you know what, you're going to have to apply for help because it's getting tougher as you go.
Yeah.
And my money inaenda tu ikiisha, so you'll have to apply for help because of your rent. School fees was not such a problem, but rent, we have to make sure that is dealt with. So I signed up for help and then took the papers to my mom to sign. And when she went to sign, I think that's the moment it hit me. My mom is like really, really sick.
Yeah.
She wasn't able to sign. Like she just signed. It's like a kid who is signing. She was shaking that day. And I remember like when I was leaving, the next day, because she signed the day before I went back to Rongai. So went to her, told her, Mom, bye. And she told me, go study hard and I'll be okay. And then I was like, okay. And then went back to school, called her. Because when I got to my house, I was like, let me call her. Called her, she didn't pick. Called her like 3 times, she didn't pick. So I was like, oh, maybe she slept. Called the next day after my class, and then no one picked yet. I was like, oh, I'm starting to worry. So called my auntie, decided to call my auntie. And then my auntie picked up the phone. I was like, where's mom? And then she's like, your mom, oh, she hung up the phone. And then she called me back. She was like, your mom went to hospital. I was like, oh, okay. And then she was like, she went to Kenyatta. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. But I didn't like overthink it. I was just like, okay, she's just gone to hospital, because it's something that you're already used to. Like your mom is going to hospital. But the thing that worried me most is that she was going to like, to be admitted.
Yeah.
And it was so hard for me to conceptualize the whole idea. And then we started seeing her, I think for like a whole month. And then a month later, I remember getting a call from my auntie, and then it was like the week leading up to the weekend leading up to the week that I was starting my exams. Like I literally had my exams on like Monday, then I think Tuesday, then Thursday, then Friday. No, I think Monday through Thursday is when I had my exams. And I get a call. So at this time, I've seen my mom a couple of times in the hospital, and I'm like, I don't.
Still in Kenyatta?
Yeah, in Kenyatta. And I remember the first day I went to see her, I didn't believe it. Like I was crying, but I was really trying to put I was really trying to keep myself together.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't stand like seeing everything I was seeing. Like she's done for everything, and this is not like her at all.
Yeah.
So it was quite hard, and because I had that picture in mind, it was very hard for me to like understand how she'll come from that situation. But for some reason, I had so much faith that she was going to leave the hospital and come. And then I get a call a month later, but we were still visiting her. But since the week leading up to my exam week, the weekend leading up, it was on Saturday. Get my call from my aunt. A call from my auntie. She's like, tomorrow we want to take you guys out to the hub in Karen, and then you guys come have fun before you do your exams. I'm like, that's really thoughtful.
So this, what exams are these? 3.1 exams?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because we were doing them at the end of the semester around December. So once I get the call, I'm just like, oh, okay. So she's like, you can come with your friend, you guys can come have fun. I'm like so happy, because I really love when we spend time with my friends. So I called my friend, I'm like, hey Tracy, I want you to come and go out with me on Sunday or tomorrow. My auntie has just called me. What I didn't know is that my auntie had called my friend Cheesy and told her that my mom had already passed on. And then I didn't know that. So she was like, I'm down. And then she had really planned everything. She was like, oh, I'm going to carry the laptop so we can go and study together, because we can't just spend the whole day there. And on Monday we have exams. So can carry my laptop, carry some leggings in case we come in late. But I'm not thinking that could be meaning something. So I'm just like, hey, umejipanga.
Yeah.
So the next day comes, we go really early in the morning. They were like, by 9 you must be here. That was the only time, like not the only time, but I kept time that day. So we went by my auntie's residence. We stayed there, and then I was given the news that my mom had passed on, and it was so heartbreaking, literally so heartbreaking.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So when your aunt calls you and tells you that you're supposed to go to the hub to have fun, did you like actually go to the hub, or were the news broken immediately you got to your aunt's house?
We didn't go to the hub. We're just told like go to my auntie's residence, stay there. We took breakfast and then we'd go later. That was like my idea, because it was
Yeah.
really early in the morning to even go and start having fun.
Yeah.
So we just went to my auntie's residence. We stayed there, and then we just started. We took breakfast. I didn't even get a read on anyone,
Yeah.
because my cousins were there, but I wouldn't get any read on anyone. My friend too, like everyone was just like in character. I wouldn't tell like anything. And for some reason, I don't know why I didn't talk about my mom the whole time. And then now my auntie called me away, and then she was like, "Oh, your mom passed on, da da da. Everything happens for a reason." For some reason, I wasn't like in this like
Headspace.
the headspace to even understand like she's like really gone. So to
Yeah.
me, she's still in the hospital bed and she's alive. And I was really requesting to go and see her, but obviously that wouldn't happen.
So you are at your aunt's place in
Yeah.
Karen, your cousins are there, the news has been broken to you. How did you process that news? I know you've mentioned that it didn't really hit you at first, but how did you process the news?
Just like I just really cried a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was really just living in this headspace, especially for that day. It wasn't like real to me.
Yeah.
It was just like things happening, but they're not real. But then like it was just bringing out the emotions that I was feeling at the moment,
Yeah.
and just staying in those emotions and processing every emotion that comes with such news, because that's like very big news. I wasn't even like in the right headspace.
Yeah.
And considering like tomorrow, like literally tomorrow, I have my exams, and I think I had 2 exams that day, or was it one? And it was so intense for me. Like I wasn't even thinking about the exam anymore. I didn't even read for that exam.
Yeah.
I was just depending on the content that I had, studied earlier.
Yeah.
So it was just me processing the emotions at that moment and what I felt like, and trying. I think the person that I was pitying a lot was my brother. I think I was thinking more about like my brother, because at the time my brother was like I think in grade 6, and I was constantly thinking about him and how he's feeling, and how all this, because my brother was like so close to my mom, literally so close. They were just like close knit together.
They were never separated
They
at
were
any
never
point.
separated
Okay.
at any point. They had like what I didn't have at his
Yeah.
age with my mom is what he exactly had. I at some point had to like envied him, and I think at some point my mom had told me that he did like enjoy what her and my brother had, because it was like quite close. And I think
Yeah.
she had not also experienced such a thing. That is why she was really like so happy that my
She was
brother,
experiencing
she was
it.
experiencing it.
Yeah. So from your aunties and the whole burial preparation, I want to imagine that was a very hard time for you.
Yeah.
But you were in school. Did you even attend the burial? Because you got the news on Saturday,
Yeah, Saturday.
and then on Monday.
No, I got the news on, my mom passed on Saturday. I got
Mhm.
the news on Sunday,
Yeah, and then on Monday you had
and
exams.
I had
So,
an exam.
and then I want to imagine the exams went on for an entire week. Did you ever get the chance to see your mom off for the last time?
So we didn't. Okay, so there were times I didn't have the exams for like the whole week. I just had from Monday through Thursday is when I had the exams. So the Monday exam I did it, but it was so hard for me because like my eyes were puffy.
Yeah.
I wasn't even seeing what I was doing, but I was just like doing it anyway. And then moved away from, my aunties, but because that night, Sunday, no, transitioning to Monday, we spent it at my auntie's. And then when we spent it at my auntie's place, we then moved. Now I had to go back to Rongai with my friend, but my friend was the one looking after me and then making sure that everything is okay. So we went back to Rongai, and then I did all the rest of the exams. Like, I didn't literally attend the Matanga part
Oh,
of
okay.
I didn't attend because I was in Rongai and I was still like doing my exams. So Friday was the burial day, because that was the day I didn't have my exams, because the
Yeah.
following week again I was continuing with my exams. So
Wait, you saw your mom off for the last time in between exams?
yeah.
Wow.
So like I did Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Wasn't going home or anything. The only time I went to home, that is like shags, was when the Sunday, the day I was given the news, is the day we went like home, with like the way they planned the matanga thing and everything. But I didn't go again. The next time I go was the burial day, which was Friday. And then we went and like buried my mom and everything.
And then you came back to school for exams.
Yeah. The good thing is that I was doing the exams like online.
Oh,
Yeah, I was doing the exams online because I don't know, I just signed up for the exams to do the exams online. So I just did the exams online. So that was much easier. Yeah.
so let me ask, with at times you might find there are people who distract themselves with like working, exams in this case. Do you think that helped with your grieving journey, or was it even worse because now you had divided attention?
I think it did help. And the reason it helped is because at the time it was still surreal. Like I didn't believe it was real.
Yeah.
Like I knew my mom had passed on, but I think
It
my
had not
mind,
registered.
it had not registered
Yeah.
like everywhere. I don't know which between my mind, my body, and my heart knew my I think my mind knew, but then
Yeah.
registering to like my body and my heart was like kind of hard.
Yeah.
So I think the day really hit me was when I, during the burial day, and
Yeah.
you have to do the body viewing and everything. So after that is when now December has a lot of festivities. So again, there was a lot of distractions to distract me from thinking a lot about, my mom and everything. I got, I got counseling. And then after I got counseling, I went back to school. Now then for the next semester, because that
Yeah.
time it was December. My mom passed on December 4th. Now there's a lot of festivities that come after that, and especially because we have a family gathering,
Yeah.
and there's a lot happening in December and everything. So then next year transitioning to like a new semester.
Or 3.2,
Yeah,
4.1.
3.2.
Okay.
Yeah, 3.2. Now transitioning to that now is like a whole another thing. And then now that is when I would say my grief journey started, and it was really hard. I fell into depression, honestly.
Which year was this?
Which year was this? 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, that was 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2022, I I'm just like it was just like, I think the enemy to grief is just like solitude, and just being like staying alone, and just like loneliness, and just being confined in a space alone. Because I was living alone, I wasn't talking to anyone because I don't know another safe space other than my mom.
Yeah.
And now I'm trying to like figure it out, and I fell into depression. But not many people know about this. I think most of my family don't know that I fell into depression.
Yeah.
Got suicidal thoughts, but then I had my brother in mind.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be so unfair of me to do such a thing.
Yeah.
And just like it's me and my brother, and then the family ends there. And then my mom is a single mom.
Yeah.
So the
He's
family,
going to be left
he's going to be
alone.
left alone. So I was like, I must change the story. And because some of these things are deeper than you ever think, I might just be the person who's creating like a certain pattern in a certain family or in my own family. So when you start like committing suicide, people just commit suicide in your family. So some of these things are just like deeper, but I did choose to mostly just lean on to God, but I 100% lost my relationship with God, lost relationship with self, didn't set any goals for that year. 2022 was just like, poof. I just lost my relationship with God, I think I felt lost at most.
I don't think most people admit or talk about how it's hard to trust God when things are falling apart.
Yeah, that is literally so hard because my prayers are that there was no prayers. It was just complaining to God.
Yeah, because you're like, why? Why did this happen?
It didn't make sense at all. And then like for the entirety of my life, I had known my mom to be sick. And now this, like the most important thing I needed my mom to see was like my graduation. I was like, God, make this happen. Like, I just want her to see like my graduation. Because I think there was a time it got, and I was kind of thinking like, my mom could be actually going, because she would go to hospitals and then they would not find the issue at all. And I'm just like, why aren't we finding the issue? And it was quite a lot. No, don't cry because I'm gonna start crying.
My tears are always here.
Don't cry because
no, I won't
cry. So it was quite intense, I would say, because when you constantly see your mom going to hospital, like from the time you knew her, she's been sick. No one is finding the issue. Like, she's taking meds every day. It was so hard to watch, honestly. And then the last resort is her just passing on.
So in your feelings at this moment, you felt like you've never really had happy times with your mom?
Yeah.
Like, you've never seen her most happy self?
Yeah.
You've never witnessed that?
And then
she left without you ever experiencing or witnessing that?
Yeah. And obviously, like there's a lot of things that I wanted to do for my mom, like build a house, see us stay in like a family together, as a family together. You know, buy her a car. Like, there was a lot of things I really wanted to do for her. Like, I was like, the thing right now that I don't have is like money, but if I would have the money, I would make it happen for my mom. Like, very big things. I would make life look so good for her, but I just felt like she never saw like what good life looked like for some reason, and it was so hurtful.
She's seeing how much of a woman you've become right now, how much, and there's so much success that you're yet to experience yourself, because I have seen your work ethic, I have seen how you relate with your clients, I have seen how you even relate with me, yet I've only seen you 3 times and talked to you 4 times now. There's so much in store for you, and your mom's soul is watching, and I'm sure she's happy and content with what you're doing with your life right now. So tell me, how were family gatherings after your mom's death? Because you come from a very big extended family. Not most of us have that, really. You come from a big extended family, and then there's always family gatherings, and your mom was always present, despite the fact that her health was not very good. She was always present in those gatherings. How are they now that she'd left, and at such a time when it was December and there are so many festivities? How was that experience for you?
It was so hard because now it's like I had a hard time admitting that we are orphans because that is what we were, and that is what we are, even though like my family doesn't like me saying such things. But now my mom was like even the first one to die, like in the family, like in my grandma's like children. She was like the first one, and that was another heartbreaking thing. Like, she's the first one, like out of like, I don't know, I'm not saying that someone else would have been chosen. I'm just saying like she was the first one, and it was so heartbreaking for me, and I know how it feels for me, and that is how it would feel for maybe another cousin of mine who maybe her mom would have passed on or something. And it felt so bad because during our family gatherings, people were doing introductions. And I think introductions just like stopped at that time. They just stopped. Like the person who does emceeing for our family gatherings just stopped calling, just stopped like asking people to introduce like themselves with their families. And obviously I understood, because it's so much harder when you go there. It's me and my brother, and like there's someone missing here, and there's like, we can see her graveyard right there. So it was like so much harder. Basically I just felt so, it was like so empty, because I wouldn't relate to anyone else except from my mom. She was my safe space. She was everything. So it's now starting to create relationships with the people that my mom had a good relationship with, because that is much easier than the people who are just like, who didn't have like any kind of relationship. But it was so much harder. It still is, like when we go home and I can't see her, and the only thing that reminds of me of her is just like her graveyard. It's so heartbreaking, honestly. So heartbreaking. I think that is like the biggest hurtful thing that has ever happened in my life. And I know right now, like I'm really getting myself together and my emotions together. But there was a time I'm really so proud of myself that I can speak about this out loud, and I can just like tell someone about what I was going through that time. Because there was a time I couldn't speak about this. I would have really broken down. But I truly like thank God, because the moment I started having a relationship with God and rekindled my relationship with God, stopped complaining, started telling him that his will be done and should be done. That is when I started finding even purpose in myself, because I had lost self, my own self, and
your
I couldn't
identity.
I had lost my identity, and now it's trying to redefine who I am to myself again, and finding a purpose that is not attached to my mom, because my purpose was fully attached to my mom, and that is why I felt the need to commit suicide. Because I was like, what am I doing? Because everything, even my goals were just like, I want to build a house for my mom.
I want to buy her a car.
I want to buy her a car. I want to give her money. I want her to travel. Like everything I ever dreamt of was not for me. It was just for my mom, purely. For my mom and for my brother. And mostly for my mom, because my mom is the one, like, he was grown up. My brother was still young. Our relationship was not there when he was young, because then I was still in school. We were just meeting on holidays and such things. So it was mostly for my mom. And then when I went to counseling, my counselor told me to transfer everything I wanted to do for my mom to my brother. And that gave me even more purpose.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is really heartwarming to hear.
Yeah.
I don't like using this word, you're a strong woman. Instead, I'm going to say, I can see where you get your strength from. Like, again, anybody who talks about God, something just clicks in my head that this is my tribe, because not so many people are willing to admit their faith. Even during the event, somebody told me that, thank you for letting us know that we can carry our faith in our careers, which is crazy, because I thought that should be something without saying. So anyway, back to you and your journey, your childhood, your mom passing, and these festivities are happening. The family is still there, the extended family. And then you mentioned that you and your brother are orphans. Is it, tell me about your dad. Have you ever met him? Did he pass on? Is he somebody you've just never known? Or
I've never known I don't even know my dad. Okay. So it's like non-existent, but there is a father wound, because
of course
there is a father wound, and people usually say there's no father wound when you don't have a dad, but there is, because you can see other people in like other families have like a 2-parent household. And I think that even defined like like not growing up with like a father figure was so, I mean, it was normal up to the point where I went to my auntie's place and I was like, oh, they actually have a dad. And I used to, like, for the longest time, I used to have like a very weird relationship with men, even with like my uncles. I just saw men as like a whole different person.
Yeah.
And it
Something far-fetched.
and it was all from perception and from what I get from people. My dad is strict, so I'm just like, oh, they're just like these people who
Yeah.
I don't know, like my perception about men was like so weird until I met like another family where they had a dad, and I'm just like, oh wow, that's a really really good dynamic right there.
Yeah.
But there's like a father wound that was created because for the most part I was told not to ever ask about my dad.
Yeah.
And now I have to assume that things are normal. And now a single parent household is a normal household.
Yeah.
I'm not negating that.
Yeah.
But remember, I think there is something I ever told my mom. Remember, you are raised from a two-parent household, so you never know what it feels like for me to never like have a dad, to never know my dad, to never do these things. Now, I'm not pressuring you to tell me who my dad is or to bring a father figure in, because I don't even know if I would like accommodate them. I'm not even sure if I want to even accommodate someone new, because I'm so used to this. But I'm really like, for me, it was just like out of curiosity. I want to know who like my dad is and what is like whose is this nose, because this nose doesn't look like my mom's. Right? These
You didn't just throw that in there.
These ears are not like my mom's. So whose are they? Like, whose are these features that I carry with me every single day?
Yeah.
Right? So unfortunately, she passed on without telling me who my dad is. But I want to find my dad and to go and look for him? No. I'm truly content with where I am, and everything happens for a reason. And like, I didn't get here by mistake, because God has a good purpose for me. And I see how we are connected with God and how we have a strong relationship. If I was a mistake, we wouldn't have that. And the things I'm experiencing right now, I wouldn't be experiencing. So I'm not looking for my dad, but I do have a dad. My dad is somewhere out there doing whatever.
Okay. Wow, we share so much in common.
Right?
Honestly, the reason why I was tearing up, it's because we share so much in common.
Yeah.
And now this makes me ask you questions I would ask myself. Do you think the fact that you really didn't relate with your dad, because there in my relationships, a man would say something, and before I even answer, the mind, I would be like, my dad should have taught me this in my mind, right? Do you think that has trickled down to your relationship? How's your relationship with men? Have you been in a relationship even before? How is that? How is it relating with men? Having come from a single mother background, you have not interacted with men a lot. Good thing you have a brother that you grew up with. But how has it just been?
It's been now relating to men, especially. I started relating with them more after like finishing high school. Now the idea that or what I was fed about men constantly, like, you can't just, men are liars, men are cheaters, men are this, like, all I was living out of other people's perceptions of who men are. And so when I was going, I was like really curious. I was really scared of even interacting with men. I was just really scared, and I was really paranoid around men. And I'm really by then no nonsense even when it comes to men. I'm just like it's really hard to unlearn that, right?
Yeah, true.
So I started interacting with men obviously after high school, and being able to realize that you can still be friends with men. You don't have to be in a relationship.
Scared.
You don't have to feel scared. You can laugh with men. I can laugh with my uncle. Like, I could really see the difference between my cousins who have a dad and who have grown up with a father figure and me, because they would not even fear like even joking around with my uncles, and I would be like, oh my god, mimi siwezi joke na uncle yangu hivyo. So it was quite like such a discovery for me getting into relationships. I find myself, because we didn't have a father figure, it's like my masculine energy leads. so much. My masculine energy is the one that always leads. Now combine that with firstbornness.
Oh my God.
Firstborn daughter.
They are always right.
Yeah. Combine that, now I'm more masculine and I find myself being more dominant.
Yeah.
And I love being dominant and I love feeling like things are under control. But also,
You also want to be
I
dominated.
Exactly. I also want to be dominated. I want you to be the man. I want you
The
to be.
confusion. I can
But I don't
relate.
know when I find someone who is like masculine to the point where I can just rest in my femininity.
You can rest back.
Yeah, and I can just like sit back and rest in my femininity, thrive in my femininity, be a soft girl and just like be demure and mindful and everything. Now I start thinking, am I being dumb? Like, are you controlling me?
Are you a narcissist?
Are you a narcissist? Like, and I must find a person who has like the perfect balance, who is not having like the toxic masculinity, but just the right masculinity to just make me rest in my own. And it comes naturally. Like, you can't force these things. And not everyone is going to have that. And I'm not meant to be with everyone. And that is where, like, once I go on a first date with a guy, 100% know if I'm going to proceed with you or not, because I can already tell.
You can tell the shift of energies.
Exactly.
And especially if you're more masculine, because I struggle with that too.
Yeah.
I mean, firstborn daughter syndrome, it gives you some bit of masculinity. You really need a guy who is way too masculine for you to like step into feminine energy. And it's not very much easy to find those guys from experience. But anyway, back to you. Have you been in like a relationship with a guy? And were you the masculine?
I've been in
Were you the masculine one in that relationship?
Oh my God. I was, to answer that first. I have been in a relationship, one relationship. The rest of them have just been dating guys, like dating in terms of like getting to know someone. But no, like, you know, constructive relationship has come out of that. I have been like one relationship, and that relationship didn't last for long, because at the time is when I was going through grief and I found someone who I could confide in, and it felt so good, but I didn't think it was really love. It was just like we were just
convenience.
It was just for convenience, and it was for both of us because he'd just come from heartbreak. So it was like two people who are like
trauma
bonding. And I was like, oh, this guy is really treating me nice, so it's so convenient for me. So I'm just gonna stay in this relationship. I was the tall one. As you can see, I'm so tall.
Oh my God. And you're tall and masculine.
I'm the firstborn as well.
You're dangerous.
And I'm masculine. Like he was making my masculine energy lead more than like my feminine, and I got bored with that. I actually used to tell him, like, you need to make decisions, you need to lead. I can't always be leading. Ati nakwambia kitu unaniuliza sasa unaona tufanye bro, when niambia tufanye nini, like unakosa maoni aje? Hebu acha mchezo. Like, tell me something, and I really need to feel like, oh, that's a really good idea. Propose something. Like, even my emotional maturity was like way higher than him. So I was just like, we broke things off. I got my birthday gift and we broke things. Waited for my birthday, got my birthday gift.
What do you mean you got your birthday gift? Okay, women.
I waited for my birthday because he had like a birthday gift for me. Gave me my birthday gift. Treated me nice on my birthday. Left him the same month. Hakuna kuwaste time. Muda ni mchache bana.
Next call.
Next. Thank you, next. So that relationship ended like that. From there, it's just been dating. Most of 2023, I was just like, I'm not dating anyone, because it was my self-discovery journey. And then 2024 was just like, well, I started dating, consciously dating, meaning that constantly, you know, putting myself in that experience of like going on dates. I was using Bumble as
You've tried dating apps?
Yeah, I've tried dating apps. Bumble.
Who are you?
Because Bumble, you know, Bumble is good because it gives you the first move. Like, no guy can come to text you. Like, you go for the people you really want.
Maybe I should try it.
Yeah, and then you have a prior conversation. If you don't, like, if your values don't align, then you don't. So I went on a few dates and then met some guys who are still my friends to this date, some tech people who help me when I'm stuck.
Hey,
I met some
forget
really
tech bros. If you want to date,
no, we're not dating right now.
former tech babe, forget tech bros.
Yeah, I can actually, I've dated quite a few, like getting to know them, but they're really good because they stay there and they help with like techie stuff, software, vitu kama hizo, you know, my lawyers,
Bombastic side eye.
As per now, 2025, I'm not dating right now. I'm focusing
Okay.
on work. I'm focusing on making myself better.
Yeah.
I have no business dating unless you're the one. Na Mungu atanionyesha in dreams
Wachana
and
na
visions,
Mungu.
ways
Sengine
that God speaks
unaekeleaga
to us.
Sengine wachana na Mungu. Hapo na unaekelea. Anyway, if somebody was to like, you've mentioned something, they have to be the one. Who is your ideal, the one?
Emotionally available. You have to be emotionally available.
Very
really
yeah.
empathetic. Like when it comes to such things as arguments, when it comes to such things as like just being able to understand me and being generally an empathetic person.
Yeah.
Even as like we are transitioning into like marriage, I really need that to be something that people value.
Yeah.
Loyalty. Just one woman only. And I don't know who came up with the thing that men are polygamous, but I don't believe that.
I don't talk about
I
that.
think men are naturally
Masai.
polygamous. I don't believe in that. Be loyal to me and to me only. No, in Kikuyu community, we don't. One person, one woman, one man. Loyalty has to have a career,
Yeah.
at least be doing something with your life and be ambitious. Like nothing can stop you. Sense I could give up because and you also have to be really positive. I hate negative people. Like negative people just make you feel as if you're bragging. Like when you tell them I want to buy a car next year and they're just like, hey, mimi saina pitia. Like don't look like your problems. I really need someone who's positive and who is like
sees potential.
Yeah, sees potential, but I'm also not dating
ideas.
potential. Yeah, I'm also not.
No,
dating
I'm not
potential.
saying seeing potential of a wife. No. I mean seeing potential in your ideas.
Yeah.
Like for instance, if you wanted to start a podcast like this one, and you're telling that to somebody who really is like, are you sure? So that is going to like demoralize you, and you're not going to achieve the goal. So that is what I meant.
Yeah.
No physical aspect, tall, dark, handsome.
Hey, it has to be tall. Eh? 5.
Miss kunitapata na short baba.
Short men honestly, I don't. Short kings are. I've been with short kings. Short kings are good. Like those people are nice. But do I want a nice man? I want a tall man. Has to be tall. When I have heels, I'm almost. Right now, I'm 5'7".
Yeah.
I'm 5'9" with heels. Around 5'9".
Yeah. How are you 5'7"? I'm a 5'7". Are you sure you're
5'7"? Yeah.
Kwani ulipima na
Wallahi nimepima mara nyingi. It's 5'7".
Tunaenda kupima sahi. Because you're taller than me, even when I'm on heels. Yeah.
I'm 5'7".
I almost wanted to tell you.
Maybe added like some inches, but the last time I pimed I was 5'7". Maybe I'm just like right now. Maybe I might be 5'8". But from what I know I'm 5'7". Where scale yako ndo inakudanganya?
Nilipima kitambo when I was like applying for my passport. I think it's written 5'7". I honestly don't think I'm a 5'7". I'm way shorter than you.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to joke that I've never dated a short king, and then it hit me like, oh, you're way taller, and for you really need that tall.
Yeah, it needs to be tall. No light skin, so dark.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Dark with a beard.
Light skin.
Okay, we don't have. I don't.
Chihuahuas. Kelly Pole.
Okay. Oh my god. I don't mind if you have beard, that will be good, but I don't care for beard.
Anyway, we're na beard gang, short kings, chihuahuas, and other things. So what has 2025 been like? I know it's August. You already celebrated your birthday, so I wanted to ask about that, but that's okay. I know it's August. What has 2025 been for you? And you've mentioned a lot about God. I want you to tell me about God and how 2025 has been for you so far.
Okay, started the year quite when like tulivuka mwaka. I wasn't clear on what I exactly wanted to do, so I decided to journal on 1st
Yeah.
of January 2025, right? And when I'm journaling, I don't know what came to my mind, but I just felt like I don't know if that is how God. I'm not this experienced, but I just felt like God told me to just trust in Him more
Yeah.
and surrender to His will. So I just started writing, continued writing, and I just felt God, and I heard God's voice, if that is how you hear God's voice, telling me. I didn't read even a Bible or something, so it's not like I read or I got that from the Bible.
Yeah.
It was just something that came into my mind, and I felt the need to trust Him more and to surrender. And surrendering means surrendering to His will.
Yeah.
And meaning that His will is going to be fulfilled in my life, and I'm gonna be okay with that.
Yeah.
I journaled a lot, I think, for around 4 pages, and I started my year with God. I think the relationship I've had with God this year has been like no other I've had in previous years.
Yeah.
We've been so close knit. I feel like I hear from Him every single day. I feel like even in the times I feel there are those times you feel like
Yeah.
I'm not speaking to God.
Yeah, true.
Like it's like there's no relationship or something, but I do feel, or I still hear from Him even in those moments.
Yeah.
And I continue to trust in Him. And trusting God this year has been the best thing that I could have ever done, because it's trusting like in His will. Like if these things, like I want this thing by this time, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Meaning your will is going to happen somewhere soon or like whatever, but I'm still gonna trust you even in those times where I'm not hearing from you. I'm still gonna trust you even when I cannot trace you, and I'm surrendering to your will. I'm surrendering everything that I have. I started tithing consistently this year.
Yeah.
Started doing Thanksgiving offerings and such things, and it has been so profound. Literally, when I started tithing, I got another client.
Wow.
I got another, like they said, like when I started tithing, I told myself I'm gonna start tithe that Sunday. The upcoming week, I got a client, and I think that is the week that was I had just done a masterclass with AC, and I had just spoken. I think I was given very few minutes, but for some reason I made so much impact, and people started texting
Oh yeah,
me.
I have watched it.
Yeah. So I didn't even think people would contact me. So the same week I got a client, the same week a lot of people are just like, oh my God, I want you to coach me. I want you to coach me. I was so skeptical about starting
Yeah.
coaching, because I was like, I don't know if I'm sure I want to coach that, but I want to grow my page like fast so that people can have that clarity.
Yeah.
But then I had skills that I had gotten from training, virtual assistants in
The recruitment
in the
job.
recruitment industry and
Yeah.
such things. So I would say like it's been such an amazing work with God. Now I understand everything. I think I confide in God quite a lot. There are things that I have done in my life, and I'm just like, oh God, you forgive that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, God is such a merciful God. He gives us so much grace, and all I want to do is to embody His character and give people the same grace. Well, people who
True.
deserve it.
Yeah.
Give people the same grace, forgive as much as He forgives, but also God demands a lot from us, and we must also remain and maintain that standard that God has kept for us.
Yeah.
And so I also want to I would just want to be like Jesus, like so much in the way I even interact with people, and also depict the same image to people, that when I enter a room, you already know that God is the one who has gotten me to this space. God is the one who has been involved in this journey,
Yeah.
and such things. So I would speak much about God And I'm really like, when you give your life to God and when you just commit to God, you can never go back, because you get to understand God for who He is.
Yeah.
You get to do things more naturally. Like, reading the Bible isn't even a problem for me these days. I just find myself gravitating towards wanting to read the Bible, gravitating towards wanting to tithe. It's not like a problem anymore. And I do know the benefits that come with that, but I do also know the challenges that come with sticking to God's side.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I do know about that.
Oh my God, yeah. And people don't really talk about it a lot because it's, honestly, I think it's not easy to trust God. It's just not. But again, as a believer, you need to, like, you just need to surrender and trust. And especially the hardest part to trust God is when something bad happens and you're like, nilidhani sina broski.
Yeah. Unanitoka aki Mungu tutoka.
Namna gani?
Yeah, but then it comes like later it makes sense, because then you understand why a certain thing was happening the way it was happening, and you just connect the dots, and you're just like, if it was to happen my way, then it wouldn't have, like, this wouldn't have happened the way it would have happened, because this is your way and then I have my way, and my way is just like, I usually see people visualizing it with like, my plants is like one rose, and then God gives you like a big bouquet of 500K.
You had to throw that in there.
I had to throw that in. I'm still bamboozled by that, by the way.
Those men anataka bouquet of 500K.
Yeah, so God has like bigger plans for you, and I think trusting God is not easy, but then you have to trust, like, through experience, you already know, like, when I trust God, when this doesn't happen my way, then it's going to happen His way. And that keeps you much more at peace. And the other thing is just being still, because I think that was another message that God spoke to me. I was trusting God, but I wasn't still. I was reading the book of Exodus, chapter 14, and it's when the Israelites were moving from Egypt, from Pharaoh's, is it the country or whatever? And then they were moving and they got to the Red Sea, and they started being so fidgety.
Complaining.
Yeah, they started being so fidgety. They started complaining. They were just like, ungetuacha huko, like, we weren't even complaining there. Now you brought us here. Now they're just going to come and kill us. And there's no, like, there's a sea in front of us. Like, what is going to happen? There's no more that is going to happen. And God tells Moses, tell them to be still. Like, you're telling me to be still na kuna ocean hapa. Like, nakuwa still aje. They are literally behind us. Behind us there. And I put myself in that situation. I'm like, mimi by then ningekuwa kwa hiyo situation, ningekuwa nafanya nini? Sijui ningejirusha kwa maji. And most of the time, I was telling my friend the other, then she was like, I think what you would do, from how I know you, ungejirusha kwa maji useme acha afadhali ujiwe kuliko wajue. That is what we do in most situations. If we would translate that to another situation, we jump in, like, we start losing hope and we jump in into the things zenye tuna predict zita happen, and God just like tells us to be more still. And being still just shows how much you trust God.
True.
Being still in those situations, just knowing that this happened for a reason, and I just have to be still. And being still could translate to anything that you want that to translate to. But most things that we do is that we complain, and you don't need to complain as much. And even when you complain, just make sure that you apologize to God for complaining. And because we are human beings, it doesn't mean that you being still, you won't express your emotions. Express your emotions in that state, however you're feeling. But be still in the situation and know that God is God. And God is going to fulfill whatever He promised, if you know His promises.
I think you've told me something that it has taken me like a lot of time to figure out. Like, yes, you trust God, but at the same time, you're asking God so many questions. Like my very previous experience that you know about, you're asking God so many questions, right? But you don't have the stillness to just trust that everything is going to fall in place. And it does fall in place. And you look back and you're like, why was I stressing out so much? But I think all of us should extend ourselves grace because we are human. It's okay. It's okay to like question. It's okay to feel like you don't trust God.
Yeah.
Just don't, just like you've said, don't let it now define you. Don't let it take, don't even let it take 24 hours.
Yeah.
Get back to the trust that you have with God, because that is going to like steer you ahead to even, you know, when things start falling in place, you'll be able to look back and to know that you are not able to like carry yourself during that time.
Yeah.
The grace of God carried you. I have just said that and I remember that story. I don't know who gave me this story. I don't know if it was in church. I don't know if it was my spiritual friend. I don't remember who gave me the story, but it was a friend, and she was saying there was this person who was walking at the sea, at the shore of the sea, like you see at the beach.
Yeah.
So like you see people live next to the beach, they take walks a lot, right?
Yeah.
So this guy would walk every other time at the beach, and every time he would walk, he would just not only see his footsteps but other footsteps. So he always knew that was God working with him. Like he
Yeah.
would walk, he's alone, but akiangalia nyuma he would see two different footsteps, right? And then there's this time when he walked and then he looked back to check the footsteps. He realized it was just his footsteps and there were no God's footsteps
Yeah.
anymore. So he cried to God and he was asking God, why did you leave me today of all days? So I want to imagine maybe he was going through something that day. So, and then God told this guy, it's just a story, right? No factual information about it. But God told this guy, how did you know that I abandoned you? He's like, I looked back today and I could only see my footsteps.
Yeah.
But God was like, those were not your footsteps, those were my footsteps, because in this situation it was so heavy that you could not carry yourself. I had to carry you. So in most situations you just need to remember that God's grace is going to carry you. And I don't want to really dwell a lot on that because I want us to talk about friendships as an adult. How has that been for you? I know you mentioned that you had a friend in campus. Are you people still close knit? Are you people still how is it making new friends as an adult, for instance?
Making friends as an adult is really, really hard. Like friends, like genuine friends,
Yeah.
it's so hard. And I never expected that. But when I got to campus, I had some few friends from my previous high school. So they're the ones that connected me to other friends. And I got two friends in additional to the one from my high school. I got three friends, and they are literally the ones who took me through my whole campus life.
Yeah.
Even throughout grief, they were just constantly there. When my mom passed on, they were there. They came to my mom's burial. They've been supporting me even through my graduation, like everything. They've just been there. But you come and realize later that life changes for each and everyone.
Yeah.
You're no longer seeing each other as you were before.
Yeah.
You're
You
no
have
longer
different perspectives
you have
now, different
exactly
values.
yeah, you have different perspectives, different values. Life is changing for everyone. Life doesn't also have to look the same for everyone.
Yeah.
And now these people we are doing totally different things. I'm doing virtual assistance. No other friend of mine is doing virtual assistance. Another friend is in 9 to 5. Another friend has their own things going on and their families and everything. And you come to realize that you have different things going on for yourselves, and it's much harder to maintain such a friendship when all that is going on. And it's been so hard because, like, for me, I just like, so for example, like all my friends just live far by from me. In the place I live, I just live me, my family, and obviously no one else. So even meeting my friends is just like such an issue. I was like
Yeah.
so excited to meet some of
Especially
them.
as a freelancer, and the times are just crazy, cray.
Yeah, they're
It's
just
so
cray
weird,
cray.
very cray. Because tell me how you're supposed to maintain friendships with people who meet in the evening on a weekday.
Yeah,
That time you're working.
yeah,
They go out on Friday, you're working. The only time you
exactly.
have is Sunday evening to interact fully with your friends. But they don't want to go out on Sunday evening. They're working on Monday at
That's the
8. You will be
thing.
sleeping.
And you have to understand that because they're also like trying to understand you because like
Yeah,
schedules might just like clash.
yeah,
But I think most of my friendships have just been, well, we've gone through our challenges because there are some friends that we just fell out, but then we came back to our friendship. But you realize that the basis of what and the values, the things that you value together, and the basis of what brought you guys together is what makes the friendship even last that
yeah,
long.
yeah.
So it's really been a challenge even trying to make new friends, because finding someone who is going to understand you just like the other, because a standard has already been set. Remember that
Yeah,
your friends before have already set a standard of what you want in another friend, and so you're always looking for that. You're always looking for that kind of a friend or even more.
yeah.
And finding people who you're going to share the same values,
Especially
finding, yeah,
values for
values.
women. That is really important to have a close-knit
Exactly.
circle that shares your values. You don't
Yeah,
want to be mistaken of somebody you're not because of your friends.
exactly. And I would say the things I look for in a man would also, most of them also translate the same to
They are
friendships.
friends.
Loyalty, being
Yeah,
positive. I don't need a person who is like constantly negative and
yeah,
doesn't have ambition and such things. I don't need a person who sees me as competition. I don't need a person who has like just a lot going on in their lives and everything. And so it's very, very important for me to find a friend who, like, it's very hard to make new friends, but also maintaining the old friendships is just also so hard.
oh yeah,
But like I feel like when I met you, like meeting people who you are in the same field and you understand each other, it's much like better. And then much better when you come to find out that you share the same values. For example, like you could go out and you could speak about more things, you could get deep, but you're also doing the same thing. So you could just like ask me a question. For example, I could ask you about tech. I could ask you about like, I've been finding this challenge in like working. What do
yeah.
you do in this situation? It's much better when you find people even in the same field that you share the same values in life, but also in the workspace.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell anybody who's watching you today?
Do not try to give up. I've gone through a lot in my life, but
Yeah,
I've never tried to even give up. Be resilient and do not make the rules for your life. Like life is yours. If someone else is coming to feed you all the other things in your ears and they're trying to tell you like this is how life should be like, then you're all continuously going to live in that chain of like people pleasing,
yeah,
and you might find yourself, or get to meet yourself while it's too late in your life. And then have standards. Usiogope kuwa na standards, like have those standards there. If people don't meet that standard, if it's there, if people tell you you have high standards, yeah, say thank you so much,
yeah.
because that is what you need in your life. And especially as women, we need to be really empowered on some of these things. And I'm so excited that I'm a woman who is doing so much, even in my family. There are some things I've done in my life for the first time as a woman in my family. And I'm so excited about that because life put me down. But look at where I am right now. Look at who I'm seated right next to. Like, I'm so, so happy. But don't try to give up at
Yeah,
any single point.
yeah.
Literally, don't try to give up. That's all I would say.
And where can people find you?
You can find me at Wanjiru. Oh, okay, if the VApreneur for the work account. Make sure that you follow that. And then Wanjiru, as in Raw, RAW _Eve on Instagram.
Oh, Ro. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Wanjiru Eve.
that is it from us virtually vast today. It was really amazing to host Eve. Eve is so talkative. But it was really amazing to watch Eve. Do subscribe and ensure you tune in for our next episode with my next guest. Just remember that you're doing better than you think. This was Virtually Vast, where we build freedom one task at a time. Until next time, remember the VA life that you want is already yours and you're just a step away from getting that. Talk soon. Bye.